Ah, man. Good song. Before I talk about the NBA draft, I just got to say that song, Booker T, Fun, from his new album, Sound the Alarm. Listen to that album. Go get that album. It's a very, very good soul record by one of our finest soul men, arrangers, producers, instrumentalists. Go get that record. I just listened to it about an hour ago. It's fantastic. All right. Let's get into this NBA draft stuff because this might have been one of the weirdest NBA drafts I've seen in a while. And it started right away. I mean, who would have guessed that Anthony Bennett was the number one pick? Raise your hand if you guys had that. I didn't know that. I didn't even think it was coming. I was very surprised at that, as everybody was in the arena. But again, Anthony Bennett, good kid. At one point, he was talked about as the best player in the country for a while. And who knows? It could really work out. He's a good player. He's going to be a hard worker. So congratulations to him. And as a result, we were surprised when Nerlens Noel and Alex Len fell out of the top three. Alex Len went to number 5. Nerlens went to number 6. And I think it's going to be real interesting to see what happens there. But I think Nerlens got into a really good situation because with going to Philadelphia instead of New Orleans, he gets to get paired up with his old buddy, Michael Carter-Williams. And that's not a bad core for Phoenix to start with. Philadelphia to start with, excuse me. Even though I can't believe they got rid of Drew Holiday. I'm still trying to figure out why that was a good idea. They got Michael Carter-Williams. They got Nerlens Noel. Decent, but I'm more upset they got rid of Drew Holiday. I'm sorry. I can't even hide that. They got rid of an all-star for a rookie. More on that. That's another issue. But, hey, good picks. Good picks. Can't hate that. Alex Len going to Phoenix. We'll see what happens there. My big thing about the draft that I really liked was Ben McLemore going to Sacramento. I think if there was one player last year I really was impressed with besides Trey Burke, it was McLemore. I think questions about his youth and immaturity, I think they're going to be answered in time because he can play. He can flat out play. And the kid can score. And Sacramento, a good young team, they got younger. They got another good young guy. So if they can find a way to make it work, they'll be fun to watch. Will they be a playoff team? I don't know. I still think Sacramento needs some veterans around that team because with all that youth, they need to have some people who can just say, all right, I'm leading this team. Keep the guys in order. But Ben McLemore going to Sacramento, I really do love that pick. I do love that. Very happy for Shabazz Muhammad going to Minnesota. I think a lot of talk around the draft was about whether he's, the flaws in his game, his lack of defense, and sadly that whole scandal where his dad lied about his age. And I really don't know why that was brought up so much because in the NBA, what does it matter? This isn't MLB where guys lie about their ages all the time. This is something that his dad did. I think you shouldn't really hold him responsible as much. But again, what does it matter? He's in the NBA now. Let it go. So I think it's a good pick for him because he gets to play with a good point guard in Rubio. And since Shabazz had to learn how to play off the ball with Larry Drew while he was at UCLA, I think it'll prepare him to play off the ball with Ricky Rubio. He's going to make it a lot easier for him to get that mid-range shot that he likes, or for Shabazz to get to the basket when he needs to, or get those offensive rebounds that he loves to get so much. So I think it's a great, great pick for Minnesota instead of them always getting point guards. But overall, not too much to criticize. I'm not going to sit here and criticize, but I'm not really sure what to make of this draft anyway. I just kind of sat back and watched. But props to the Pac-12 because for the last few years, this conference has taken a lot of heat because they haven't had the quality of players they had 4 or 5 years ago. But this year was a stronger year for the Pac-12, and it showed because they had the most picks out of any conference besides the ACC, I believe, with 7. So very, very good to see that. 6 schools had 1 player picked: UCLA, Oregon, Arizona State, Arizona, Colorado, Cal. That's a great look for the Pac-12, and I hope that it continues to rebuild next year because there's some really good talent there as well to keep watching. So I was very happy for the Pac-12. Also, very happy for a lot of California kids that I saw get drafted, some of which I covered in high school. So very happy for Solomon Hill from Arizona going to Indiana. I think that's going to be a great steal because you're getting somebody who's a leader, who's a hard worker, who can do a bit of everything. And when I saw Solomon in high school, he played alongside Renardo Sidney. And it was funny to me because even though Renardo got a lot of attention, Solomon Hill showed that he was very much so as good a player and can make just as much impact as Renardo could. So very happy for Solomon Hill. Very happy for Fairfax High School out here in LA. Also happy for Tony Snell going to Chicago, Riverside King kid, high school teammate of Kawhi Leonard. Very happy for him, another hardworking kid. And it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you work hard, you're going to get noticed. And even at New Mexico, the kid worked his butt off. He showed what he can do, and I'm very happy for him. Also happy finally for Alan Crabb, another kid who I got to see a lot of my last year covering high school sports at Price High School. Great scorer. He's going to have fun in Portland with that team. I really hope Portland knows what they're getting in him because he's a very hardworking kid who's humble, who's going to be a great fit in that community. And on the court, the guy knows how to put it in the basket. So that's going to be really good. Portland, enjoy the guy. Also happy for Jeff Withey, Jamal Franklin, who I was surprised fell out of the first round, but I think he's going to be a great steal. Grant Jarrett, I'm sad that he went to the draft. I mean, I don't know his situation. I'm not going to sit here and say he made a bad decision, but I wish he would have stayed because he definitely had a higher ceiling to go, but I think he maybe got some bad advice. But happy he got drafted. James Ennis from Long Beach State, they're one of their first players to be drafted in a long while. Very happy for them. So a lot of California love. Very happy for that. Finally, my Lakers, or the Lakers, as I'm going to say. I like the fact they got Ryan Kelly because, being a Duke fan, I saw Kelly a little bit. Nice, decent big man who can shoot a little bit. But I was surprised they didn't get a point guard. And after thinking about it some more, I would have thought maybe they go out and get a point guard to kind of, who's a little bit more dynamic than what they have right now, considering that's probably their biggest problem. But they didn't. And they didn't try to get to the first round either, so I'm a little bit surprised at that. So I'm not really sure what to make of it. I think Kelly will be a decent pick. I don't think he's going to play much, but I think he's a decent pick. However, the Lakers still got to find some guards, and they need to find them fast. That said, bye, David Stern. You can see he had fun that last time around in his last draft. I love the touch of bringing Hakeem Olajuwon out there with his 84 touch with the bow tie. I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was cool. David Stern just yucked it up, enjoyed it, and I thought that was fun. I thought that was really cool, and that's why, the love-hate relationship with David Stern is so great because he gets it, he doesn't care, and he just does whatever he's going to do. But his 10 years commissioner is going to be very complex, and that's for another day when he does retire in February. But that was fun to watch. That's all I'm going to say. I thought ESPN's coverage was very good with the exception of Bill Simmons. I don't know why Simmons was on the coverage because it felt like he was just adding tidbits and throwing things in or trying to get a word in edgewise and really kind of distracted the conversation a lot. When he talked about Shabazz Muhammad's age being an issue, I thought that was a very poor distraction because really it doesn't matter at this stage of the game anymore. I thought it was really kind of just unnecessary. The whole thing with Doc Rivers came off very poorly, and I felt like, to me, Simmons needed to kind of leave his fan hat aside and try to discuss what was relevant, but that's why he was put there. He wasn't put there to analyze as much. He was put there for whatever he does really well, and that's his position. He plays his position well. So not really happy about that, but otherwise I thought ESPN's coverage was very top-notch, even though the draft took almost 5 hours to get through, and the first round took over 3 hours. It was rough, but again, Simmons aside, ESPN did a pretty good job on their coverage, and we'll see where these kids end up. So ultimately, congratulations to all these kids. It's a big day for them. I'm happy for them. I wish them all well because at the end of the day, we can analyze, we can talk about anything else. It's these kids getting a chance to live their dream, and being drafted into the NBA is an honor. And as much as we like to analyze, criticize, and whatever that, let's not forget that these kids worked hard for this moment, and they should be applauded for that. Peace.